For the first time in weeks, Barry feels like Barry again. Leaning on the comedy more than the drama, despite what the introductory images will have you believe, Barry returns to a relatively more accessible mode in this penultimate installment. And by accessible, we mean we're presented with bloody seeping boxes containing the decapitated heads of 4 ultimate badass killers, Fewbuck, within the first 10 minutes. Okay, so Barry being a comedy still means a minute-long montage of Barry tearfully bidding farewell to the world he destroyed as he takes one last look at the pastures from hell, Purgatory Beach. And his son John Moss is there, too, rattling rusty tools on a steel tray and telling Barry that he's amputated his arms and legs off. And following on the harrowing tales of Barry's 4th season for at least 30 seconds, we believe it. The show has been so relentlessly unsympathetic toward its characters, so invested in taking this story to that absolute limits. Why shouldn't Barry spend the last 2 episodes as an amputee? If any show could pull it off, it's Barry. Thankfully, the show's comedic sensibilities won out, and it cuts, instead, to a delightful shot of Barry with VR goggles on, shifting awkwardly in the chair he's tied to. A nice meal conjures that season 1 Barry magic, where waiting for the punchline sometimes puts butterflies in your stomach. Acting like he and his cast are doing it for the last time, because they are, Hader gives his principals a chance to shine. Fuchs, NoHo Hank, and Cousineau drop the act and return to their core characters, with Anthony Carrigan taking NoHo Hank out for one last spin. Meanwhile, Sarah Goldberg, who might be the most underappreciated actor on television, gets one last shot to do the right thing. Hollywood does weird things to people. The allure of stardom, a brush with immortality, and the chance to work with Daniel Day-Lewis from My Left Foot blend into a green juice of narcissism, and sadly, Gene Cousineau still wants a taste. Despite launching a blog that's getting some positive comments, Cousineau takes a meeting with an agent, Nate Carodry, who promises major stars for the Barry Berkman story. The random, too good to be true phone calls are enough for Cousineau to change his tune from Warner Brothers as being such a dickhead for attempting to profit off my dead girlfriend to this would be a great way to get Janice's story out there. Hader and Winkler aren't keen on redeeming Cousineau. He's been given an out at every turn, and as soon as someone appeals to his ego, he caves. It doesn't take long for Cousineau to crack. All it takes is the right phone call. The same is true for NoHo Hank, who still has Raven's NoHo Hourglass comment on his mind as he stares at his bronze Cristobal, pining for better days. But like Cousineau's phone call, as soon as his assistant informs him that Fewbuck is ready, he switches gears in classically Barry fashion. As great as the show has been this season, there's a persistent feeling that the darkness and dread is overtaking the show's humor. The series has consistently played with both, but as the show wraps up, it found its characters' breaking points in very upsetting places. So after enduring the Raven's gauntlet of pain the last few weeks, this handful of scenes of NoHo Hank stepping on rakes was a breath of fresh air. Beginning with his meeting of Fewbuck, Carrigan is in the pocket, playing each introduction like a horny man-child opening Christmas presents. But his enthusiasm for Fewbuck is matched with the disappointment of receiving their heads in return. Hank observing the 4 boxes, with the perfect amount of blood seeping out of the bottom, and declaring, "It's their heads," was one of the biggest laughs of the night. Hank pivots, choosing the much simpler plan of blowing up the Raven's house.